Okay, guys, how's everybody doing? I've done a live stream since Saturday. But yeah, because one time I was doing them like pretty much every day, but I just do them when I feel like it. I thought I'd do one tonight. But yeah, how's everyone doing? I'm just showing it out on Dell's because it just finished, so I thought I'd do that. But yeah, I'm just gonna share this out on Twitter. Make sure to like and share if you. I'm not too bothered about likes, but if it does help, if you can show some support, because yeah, it just kind of helps if someone puts a dislike. Then you want to make sure that the ratio is good enough so that people will stick around. So I'll just be with you guys shortly. All right. So anyway, yeah, this Hulk flat. Anyway, I'll just say hi to everybody. Chris Hayes, how you doing? Rebecca Ray, how you doing? Chris F.E. Jackson, how you doing? Hulk Flat, how you doing? You didn't even know this channel was up. This is a backup channel. This is not my main channel. So let's just try and I'll be just getting my main channel link so that people can go over to my main channel and subscribe to that. So I'm just doing that a minute. It's just I'm just thinking I need to go grab the link from that and come back onto this channel, and I'll be putting it. So yeah, just try that. Should send you to my main channel. But anyway. So, P, how you doing? So, will you be able to make it to the meetup on Saturday? Apparently, somebody's coming up from Stoke. Somebody messaged me on Twitter and let me know. So, yeah, we've got somebody coming up from Stoke. Dan W, how you doing? Robert Humphrey, how you doing? It was good chatting to you the other day or week, whatever it were. Be good to have you on again sometime. It's always good chatting with you. I mean, yeah, I heard you near Stoke, Dan. Yeah, it's about an hour and a half, I think, from where I live. It's about 70, 80 miles away, maybe, down the M6 towards Birmingham. Going, because, yeah, I say, yeah, it's actually pretty easy because it's just straight down the M6. And yeah, but yeah, if anyone wants to come on, then let me know and I can send a link out. So that goes to anybody that wants to come and join me. So I'll keep putting the link out to my other channel because I don't want, like, let's say, subscribing to this channel maybe that are new and they're not subscribing to my main channel, because once the strike goes down, then I'll be able to live stream on my main channel again, which will be the 6th of November, which is quite a while off yet. It's a couple of months away, but just have to wait it out. Where are you from, Ashley Swartz? I saw you over on Dell's chat. Where are you from then? So I just put the obviously from America, like over in America then. So some say it's better than the UK, some say it's worse than the UK. Obviously people's subjective experiences. Obviously the climate's a lot different. Obviously in the UK it's generally pretty cold, but it can be quite warm if we get heat waves and things. It can, because obviously the Gulf Stream, it sometimes comes around in summer, but then in obviously winter we're getting blasts from the north as well, so we get a bit of a mix really. It seems like the safest place to live in the UK. Seems like yeah, because there doesn't seem to be anything going on too much, like any kind of like disasters so much. But we know a lot of these obviously terrorist attacks and stuff are all hoaxes anyway. But I mean, yeah, we do get some of that going on. But obviously America's seen as like this crazy kind of where everyone's just nut jobs, and that's what obviously the stereotypes are, and people get like prejudices over how they expect people to be, and it's all bullshit. It really is. Experimental vaccines, 22 million homeless in America. The media downplays the poverty. Wow, I mean that's quite a lot, is that? I mean 22 million. But yeah, I've just put a link to my main channel. I'll put videos out on there. Just try and get people to. In fact, I might be able to. I'll do is I'll just because I can actually. Hang on. Right, so I put a link to the channel, my other channel. Actually, put it over on my channel. It says my main channel, and that's where I used to go live on. But I had to create this channel to do streams. Mass One, how is it going? So Ranty Rant. Yeah, I know that Anthony Riley shut his account because partly it's something to do with the eclipse or something, and that it supposedly proved that the sun was a long way away. So yeah, because I actually went and had a look, and I was like, "What the hell?" He shot his. And I do remember him saying something that if he sees a Pac-Man sun during the eclipse, like from his position, then he'll shut his account and he won't obviously take part in the flat Earth anymore, which is too bad, really. I don't know. Anyway, we've got 28 watching, 6 likes. So yeah, make sure to like, make sure to share if you haven't already. Try and get this out to as many people as possible. But yeah, the eclipse to me doesn't really prove anything. The only good thing about it, to me, it kind of increased exposure of the flat Earth, and it made me think so that maybe that we can capitalize on any kind of big event, and we can try and link the flat Earth into it, and try and bring people over to the flat Earth discussion by that, so we can capitalize on that. That's what I'd say anyway. John Sharp, I see I've been blocked from commenting on Dell's Shed channel. Well, that's too bad, isn't it? Why do you think you got banned then? No, I'll just put a link to my other channel so you can go ahead and subscribe to that one as well. So yeah, again, if anyone wants to join me, let me know. I can sort you a link up. If you've obviously if I've got your address, then I don't need to ask for it. But if you've never been on before, then I probably need your address, like to not your, as in like an address to send the Hangout link to. Yeah, cheers everyone for coming over here. It's Chris F. Talking Chris F. Yeah, a long list of stuff. Well, obviously I won't get through every single one in one session, but I don't expect to. But we'll at least get through a few different topics, and invite anyone to come on and talk about any kind of topic they want to talk about that they think is relevant and they want to bring up, and they can explain how it's important. And a topic that to me is important to talk about is obviously diet and nutrition, health and health, obviously, exercise, things like that, personal well-being, spiritual well-being as well. These different things about kind of personal development and obviously social development as well, about kind of working together, working as a team. It's about working as a team, but embracing individuality as well, and not being kind of obviously collectivism is something that's obviously it can be used for good and bad. Collectivism can be obviously used for like, say, if they want us to all be slaves and we all work together for them, and we all have this hive mentality, which isn't good. We should all embrace our own mentality. But collectivism, working together, but at the same time embracing that individuality that everybody has, and trying to find yourself and kind of find out what you're into, and then kind of work towards achieving that. And yeah, it seems pretty basic, but some people just don't seem to get it, or some people just need to be reminded of it. And obviously it's something that a lot of people talk about. So yeah, Ranty, I actually saw that hangout he was doing last night. Yeah, well, obviously, like you're saying, it's your word against his. So and who knows, maybe his subs are not even real, and it's like, I don't watch him. I have no reason to watch him. Like you said, obviously on this channel it's an open platform. People can come on and talk about what they want, but obviously he's just kind of like you said, Ranty, he admits to not really knowing anything about chemtrails, so he doesn't believe in them. So yeah, I don't want to kind of cause drama on this channel, but we need to know who the real people are, and then use your own discernment, really, and whatever. Yeah, it's like, several other people. Yeah, Rory, had his own kind of experience with him, and he said that it was that bad that he wanted to punch the living daylight out of him. But obviously he said that would make him look bad, and it's good on him for kind of doing the right thing, because sometimes people let bad situations get the better of them, and that's just advice to people, is just to kind of keep your head on, because people let their emotions because of a situation get the better of them, and we all need to learn from these things, and that we've just got to do do that. Louis, how you doing? Leslie Beckwith, how you doing? So yeah, let me know anybody who will be attending the Preston meetup on Saturday. I've got a couple of people who have said they were going to be coming. Like I said, it's gonna be at Havenham Park. Meet up at around the visitor centre, outside the visitor centre. Anyway, I just need to get the charger. I'll be back in just 1 minute. Napoleon, how's it going? Martin Potter, interestingly, I get more people willing to talk about FE than terror events. Well, if you can, at least you can wake them up to something, I suppose. You know, some people might be willing to, you know, talk about, you know, 9/11 as being, you know, whatever it is, you know, kind of, whether it's completely fake or whether it's just some kind of false flag event. But we know it didn't go down the way they say it went down, because the laws of physics, you know, it really kind of goes against it. But, you know, if we can try and wake people up to different things, whether it be chemtrails, fluoride, obviously, you know, talk about how, you know, there's like, you know, fluoride in the tap water. But I mean, I still drink it. I don't think they have it in most places in the UK. And so, well, some places have it more than others. Apparently Cumbria has it, apparently Cheshire, but I don't think around here has it. But they still say that, you know, there's still other things in it, but it's obviously something I have to work towards. So obviously I want to, because it'd be better once I do that, and then I'm like, but yeah, it's not like I'm feeling anything bad. It's not like I'm sick or anything, and I need to like change it. But a lot of people are saying that they experience benefits from it. But I've heard people saying that if you try and filter your water or whatever, then it can be bad for you, because if you come in contact with dirty water, it's gonna like make you really ill or something, because it detoxifies you or something. I don't know. I'm doing Mass 1, what's 72 miles? Alright, I'll let Mass 1 in. Sorry about that. So I sent it the place that I usually send it. So we've got nearly 200 subs over on this channel already. Cheers everyone for coming over here, but staying over there as well, you know. Don't unsubscribe. I'll still be making videos on there. Good Tim's Roll, how you doing? Take an iodine supplement. Help get rid of heavy elements. Iodine supplement. I'd have to look into that. Is it cheap? Yeah, so we'll be making any more videos soon then. Good times. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't quite understand, because, you know, this diffraction thing, I mean, yeah, it causes like distortion, but is that what's responsible for losing the bottom of buildings? Because when I look at some of these pictures, there's a clear horizon line. It doesn't look like there's diffraction there. I'm just saying that. If you look on some of the images of Chicago skyline from 37 miles away, or whatever it is, and it's pretty clear horizon line. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any kind of diffraction going on. Cost $10 and last a year. Wow, that's quite a lot. So again, I'll be sharing the link to my main channel, because anyone that subscribes to this, subscribe to my other one as well. I'll be putting videos out there. This is a backup channel because because my main one's got a strike. The person who put a strike on it wouldn't take it back, so, you know, that's just too bad, but it's not going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me putting the truth out there. So yeah, Mass 1 should have the link, and Chris FE is after the link as well. I've not spoke to you guys in a little while. It's be good to have you on again. Well, to be honest, I haven't really been doing these for a little while, so just I'll try it again. I sent it to you before because I used the same like address as before, so let's try that. All right, see if you've got it now, Mass.
Hi, buddy.
Yeah. You don't have any Egyptian descent, do you?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you, of course. Just wondering, you don't have any Egyptian descent then, do you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because then I'd be able to call you Papyrus.
Yeah, I got it now.
Hey, man.
So, what did you get? What, the second link that I sent, or the first one?
No, they all came. They all came at the same time.
I don't know why. Spam folder or something.
Nah, they all came at the same time. One said 5:10 p.m. Eastern. One said 5:16 p.m. Then one said 5:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like they all came at once when you sent it like the third time.
Well, we've got 22:22 right now, so yeah.
Yeah.
They say that these
they all
numbers
came
are
now,
like,
like
these
weird.
synchronized numbers that they have an actual meaning or something. It's like, like 1111. 1111 is supposed to be a really special one because it's the same
I don't
backwards
know.
as it
It
is
was three.
forwards.
It's 322 somewhere, isn't it? You know what I mean? It still is 522 on my computer, so it's 322 somewhere. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because when I looked at it, it said 2222. So I don't know.
Hey, thanks, Chris Hayes, for screaming with a blowhorn in the chat for me, bro. Thanks.
So what you been up to, Mass? You been back to your pain clinic?
Nah, they not really.
Oh.
They just they tried some electric shock therapy with me. They stuck these 2 needles in my spine and were like giving my nerve jolts of electricity. So it was weird, but yeah, I'm just been smoking a ton of weed and just taking ibuprofen.
You're not charged up then?
Nah. What's up with you?
Not a lot. I managed to catch some. Not sure if anyone saw the video, but I did caught some of the eclipse on Monday night. So I went out to Cornwall, took some shots. So I got a filter with a camera, took some shots. Not
Nice.
sure. Did you see those, Jamie?
What was it? A reverse osmosis filter? No, I'm kidding. So you say you was able to film the eclipse? So
Yeah.
apparently Anthony Riley shut his account down, something to do with the eclipse.
Yeah.
Because he went up to Winter Hill or something, and he saw Pac-Man son, and agreed to shut his account down. Which to me is like, well, it kind of shows that you're not really that awake if you still, kind of playing by their rules of, look up in the sky and see.
Good times for all. It sent some shocks down my leg and also scalps. Yeah, I want to sit with the face on Mars. I did sign up for that. My bad. Go ahead, Jam.
Well, I think it was quite a commitment to actually make that statement. When actually, I think still it doesn't prove a heliocentric model or flat Earth. Really, it just means now we got to do more work to actually try and work out what's happening. And there's stuff out there that's saying that
he even said though that it could throw out flat Earth, but he still said it could be possible that we're living on a bigger sphere or something. But it's this assumption that the sun and moon are physical objects that you can actually touch. They might not even be that. They might not even. They might not be in any particular position.
I like B. Marble's experiment.
Where we are.
Yeah. Well, it still doesn't. Again, it opens up more questions than.
I don't even.
This whole kind of sky thing is just kind of a red herring.
When they change the rays of the sun to cone shape and shit, man, fuck all that. I'm going back to Jennifer and fucking her evidence. There ain't no curvature. I don't give a fuck.
What you say?
I don't care. They can't tell me. They can't tell me nothing, man. They ain't changing my mind. They can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? They can't tell me shit.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to be open to what you're actually being shown. I guess from different perspectives. I guess what would be good is to see what Padawan took, what I took, and what we're seeing in the States now. From my timestamps, from where I took the photos in Cornwall, compared to what Padawan took, we're roughly about 40 miles apart. And then what the position of the sun would have been in the States with the position.
I didn't know you were that far apart. I thought you was only about a few minutes away.
Well, no, I drove into Cornwall. I offered to pick Padawan up, but he said he was going up to the moors. So I said, okay, no worries. But by the time I got across the Tall Point Ferry, which is across the River Tamar, I drove into Cornwall and I got to the coastline, which was further down. I realised the sun was behind me. So I thought, well, I don't want to sort of get to a position where I can't film as it drops below the sky or below the land. So I went further inland to try and get to a higher point. And like I said in the video, I got to a sweet spot where I could actually stop and take some photos. I didn't really bother with the time lapse either. I just took some real photos. I can share them if you want, if nobody's seen them. They are pretty self-explanatory. I don't know what you think, Jamie.
What's that?
Do you want me to put the photo up? I can share them out.
If you're going to screen share, make sure to not share the link if you can do that.
Yeah, well, I run 2 monitors anyway, so I've got it on a completely different monitor. So
Oh, so it's not going to like.
no, all right. So if I screen share this,
Well, at least I mean, I'm glad you actually asked permission, because some people will just, it's a little bit rude. I'll be honest. When people,
yeah. So you need can you share that, Jamie, or?
Yeah, I'll present to everybody.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so you can see that there. So that's the that's with the solar filter.
It's Rahu.
Sorry?
I don't know about that, to be honest. I mean, this whole Rahu thing that people are saying, I don't know. Well, they're saying that the moon where it was it's where the moon was predicted to be, so it couldn't have been anything other than the moon. People are saying. It's like crazy how many globers were saying how are flat earthers going to explain the eclipse, and I'm like, what? Am I missing something here?
Yeah.
What's it got to do with the shape of the Earth? I mean,
That's right.
we look up in the sky and some disk is like coming in front of another one and obfuscating it.
Like we live on a clock, yo. You know what I mean? We live on a clock, okay? Basically a clock. Like, what can a clock do? A clock can tell time. A clock can tell past and present. It isn't hard for them to tell when the next one's gonna be, when they're gonna line up. If you live on a clock, man.
Try and look here and see if there's any definitive topography coming across this edge here. You can't really see anything. I guess if you put this into Photoshop and actually looked at the lighting and stuff, you might see the light here come down this way. But it is rather strange how you don't see the moon once it's disappeared. You don't see it coming in. In the bright sunshine, you don't see it at all. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
This is obviously the beginning of it. And again, you try and look here at any. There's no real difference. It just looks like a ripple here.
I think I see a silhouette of a flag. I think that's.
Look at this shadow.
I guess if you crop this out and then laid it
What's
across
it got to do with Earth? There's something blocking it. I thought it was, they're saying it's a moon blocking it out.
Yeah. I'll stop sharing now, Jamie.
But they're saying about that there's like this umbra of 70 miles, and there's this whole argument of that you can't have a shadow smaller than the object that's casting it, but then they'll come up with some explanation as to why that's false. But I mean, 70 miles
exactly,
from
man.
something that's supposed to be 2,000 miles wide. I don't know, because when I've seen practical daily experience, so we know that usually actually it's bigger than the object that cast it. 5 o'clock shadow, it's huge.
Dude, my 5 o'clock shadow is humongous, man. Massive, mass one.
What did your beard grow quickly or something?
Hey, go ahead, Jam, again.
I said, does your beard grow quickly?
Yeah.
Your 5 o'clock shadow.
Like, gotta shave it 3 times a day. But yeah, man, the shadow would be much larger in my opinion. So
well, that's what you'd expect. If if the moon was 2,000 miles, it would pretty much it would go all the way like across America almost. In fact, it would go over North America if. But it still doesn't prove that. People are saying it proves it's flat, but I think it more kind of disproves some things about the heliocentric model. But they'll obviously try and do something to patch it up, and that's what they'll continue to do. So when people find there's no curve, they'll patch it up and say, "Oh, it's magic bendy light."
Yeah, I mean, it's easier for us to prove there's no curve than with just by standing here on the Earth than it is for them to prove to us that it's a ball from standing on the Earth. So you know what I mean? I see no curve. So
yeah, when we was out at Blackpool, you could see the hills of North Wales, and that was quite a long way in the distance. And obviously on the globe Earth, it shouldn't be possible. I mean, we're literally seeing.
I'm working on an experiment now. I think I told you before. Right now, I live about 30 miles outside of downtown Pittsburgh, and I can see the top of the downtown buildings from where I live. I can see the tops.
So how
some of them.
far in the distance is it?
I'm still working on it. I'm not. So it's 30 miles away, but I don't know. I don't know the
You know,
height
like
of
the
the buildings
exact.
yet. I don't know the exact height of the buildings yet, and then the sea level. I don't know all that
Yeah,
yet.
because you'd
I
have to
gotta
take
put
that
that
all
together.
into account because the
Yeah.
bowlers will not let that go if you don't into the eye of the observer into account. Well, the thing
Yeah.
is, there's things that they won't take into account, like foreground obstruction, for instance. And I've said this before that it's not a perfect bowl, and the Earth curve calculator site says that it's not a bowl. So unless you're up higher than say like a summit that's in the foreground, that the Earth curve calculator doesn't, the height of the observer doesn't actually come into account. Say for instance, you've got some object in the distance, like there's 100 feet higher than where you are, or let's say on the same level as where you are, but you're up at say 500 feet. Now, if you're at 500 feet above sea level, but there isn't any kind of you're not looking over the sea, for instance, then that's going to be your like floor, isn't it? I mean, that's so you wouldn't put, oh, it's 500 feet. It's not. It's 0 or 6 feet or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's only if you're looking over the sea, because there's not as much obstructions getting in the way. Like I said, if there's an obstruction that's higher up than where you are, then it would actually hide even more of it. So say
Well,
for
that's
instance,
why.
there's a building.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I like Jenna Fredo's video, and she beats that fucking Mick West website.
And maybe because you're not able to see quite to the bottom, but I mean we've got to take into account that the sea obviously isn't perfectly flat, and Eternal Padawan demonstrated that actually, because he did 2 separate observations of Eddystone Lighthouse. One was in high tidal condition and one was in low tidal condition, and they had different results.
It depended on the swell as well, didn't it?
That's what I mean. So unless you're up higher than that swell, then you have to take that into account. Building, if there's say a building or a hill in the distance, you have to take that into account. Bowlers aren't going to like that because it would completely destroy their globe.
Yeah, and
So say you do like an observation on a mountain, between one mountain and another, but say you're like, oh well, you're not able to see the bottom of it. Well, of course you wouldn't, because there's some other mountain in the way, or there might be a layer of cloud below you that's in the way. So that you would have to take into account as well. If there's cloud, if there's like an opaque layer of cloud, because that becomes your new floor, and that's your elevation is your height above that, which is pretty much impossible to work out. So
yep.
I don't know.
Well, that's why I like Brian Mullins' force the line experiment, but it would take tons of money. Yeah, it would take a lot of money.
But then the bowlers would still deny it, some of them.
I mean, that would be probably better than zooming across the body of water, in my opinion, but for it to happen would take a ton of money. I mean, that would...
Well, I mean, obviously a simple one, I don't know if it'd be simple, but, obviously having to, kind of, obviously, like a plane, and obviously, Phuket Word actually made a video about it, like, the distance, you're flying between 2 points would be greater, with altitude, but obviously, one at bowlers made up some maths and said, well, yeah, it would only be 1 minute difference, but couldn't you measure the distance and see if it was slightly greater? I mean, surely they should have done something like that by now.
Yeah, I think soon someone with enough funding and money will do it themselves. That's what I think, someone with enough money. Like, who knows, man? They have Powerball lotteries here. It was just like $530 million. Like, if a flat earther just won that or something, man, I'm doing every experiment to prove this shit. I don't give a fuck.
So when people say that the railgun account for automatically account for the curvature of the Earth, which is bullshit. I mean, there's always gravity.
That's complete bullshit.
If that was the case, you would not be able to send a rocket up anywhere, because that's going straight up. That would be going completely against gravity. If gravity can have such a strong force,
people making snipers making shots. Like, there was just I'm a gun enthusiast, so I recently seen a shot near, I think it was 2 miles maybe. There's no Coriolis effect at all.
If gravity is this attractive force, how is it that say like a plane or a railgun is supposedly, going around the curve and not being directed toward the Earth.
Yeah, it would go.
How can you hit the target?
Eventually, it would go
It would
into the
start to.
earth
It
or
wouldn't
into the
just
water. It
continue.
it would just go
And then
eventually.
it's because the kinetic force is stronger than gravity. Then they actually have to concede that it has to be going independent of the curvature of the Earth because gravity has no effect on it.
And
So
wouldn't
they
that
can't
be
have
the
it both
same?
ways.
Wouldn't that be the same
This
argument?
is where they fail their argument.
Yeah, isn't that the same argument also as like pretty much like how a plane doesn't keep dipping its
Exactly.
nose down. Yeah, like
There's always good gravity, but again, it should be coming down toward Earth. If they just letting it, kind of letting gravity do its work, then it shouldn't be falling, behind the curve. It should be falling down toward the Earth.
yeah.
At an exponential rate. They'll probably come up with some crazy maths that no one can understand.
I know, like 8 chalkboards of math that explains it and shit.
Yeah, Steve HV put out a video today regarding peer reviews and what somebody said published on the Huffington Post or the Huffington Post, something like that, and how despondent they were with the peer review system, and that they took one peer review and they changed names and they changed dates, etc., and resubmitted this paper to the peer review, and there were deliberate mistakes in it. And I think the results they got back, some of the peer reviews just dismissed it and said no, without really reviewing it as such. And it was actually a previously reviewed paper that got through. It just tested the system, and it's just open to question, this whole peer review thing, and it's based on not repeatability and observation, and regarding what science should be. It's an arbitrary decision whether they accept it or not, depending on from whom it is, let's say. So it's very selective. So it's not based on when they say it's based, for science and pushing back the frontiers of science. It's all based on selection and best guess. So they have the ability. So if somebody come up with some new abstract or theorem, they could easily reject it, so it would never get out in the wider world. It would never get the funding. So it's very selective on what they want to fund.
Peer review, like Dell was saying about how it should, when we're on earlier when he was saying about how peer review, it should be something that can be demonstratable by anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be practical.
Not, and you could say, well, some obviously scientific experiments, they're too complex to be carried out by everybody. But if that's the case, then they say, well, they can get some other kind of qualified person to do it, but you should have to have like loads of people doing it before it's considered as a fact of reality.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because you can't just have one or two people that because they might not have accounted for any variables.
Yeah, which the person that was undertaking that could have made a simple mistake, and then you read in the results, you miss that in the documentation. Even if one person highlights it because the others hadn't, they just ignore it when it could be a valid point. So yeah, it's like I say, it's a bit like the dubious goals panel, isn't it? They set up.
Yep, it's all corrupt.
So again, this Eclipse thing has been thrashed out to death, and it probably will be for the next few weeks with things coming.
Yeah, because it'll be like the people debating over whether it proves a flat Earth or a globe Earth. But if you're truly awake, then you're going to realize that it doesn't prove anything. It's just, it might point out some flaws in, like I was saying, with their model, but they're just going to patch it up with something else.
Yeah.
Because it's a reverse engineered model. When they
just change their numbers all the time.
Find the flaw in it,
they just change their numbers.
Instead of saying, okay, this model's probably wrong then, and we'll try see, if flat works better. Because if you take curvature out of the equation, then we're able to see. Because remember when people were doing the shots of Hawaii from 90 miles away, and that pretty much shouldn't have been visible at all, hardly, and this is 90 miles. And you went like, the Earth's too big, but
listen, I was telling
90 miles though. It's a long way, so it should be over a degree of arc. Now that doesn't sound much, but over that distance, it is.
I was saying to Ali about I was showing somebody a high altitude balloon footage, and I think it was the dog cam spot I showed him.
Yeah, that's like the famous one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is with a sunspot. Yeah, and I showed him that one, and his mouth was a gasp, and he said, "Oh," so I said, "Look," I said, if you think about it, look, all you can see in that 360 view of the land, it looks flat, doesn't it?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "But all you're seeing is what the local sun is illuminating. So how do we know what's beyond that?" And until the sun,
yeah, that's true. Because obviously, if there's parts of it in darkness, and it's just going to be blacked out, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So people might actually be thinking they're seeing a curve when it's just because of the local sun,
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Obviously, you wouldn't get up high enough to see the whole illuminated area because that's thousands of miles wide.
Yeah, but the point I'm making, Jamie, is that even if you manage to get away from, further away from the
that's true.
the Earth,
You wouldn't be able to.
all you would see is what the sun's going to illuminate.
So you'd see in like a circle around you, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But obviously, on the ball, the horizon would constantly dip.
Yeah.
And I do think you would see a curve at some point, and I don't think you'd have to be up thousands of miles. I think you'd be able to see it from not too high up, because the way I see it in my head is that you would start to see it from that, central point of vision. It would curve away from that, but yeah, it looks flat most of the time, unless it's a fisheye lens,
Right. So if you take
you can't have a flat horizon on a ball. It's impossible.
Right. Okay. So if you take that picture of the dog cam sport, right, and you have that in your mind, and then you move further away from the Earth, and let's say you move beyond what the sun is, the height of the sun, you just move away, whichever direction you fancy, so that it becomes in the distance. You're still only going to see what the sun's lighting up. So it's all intents and purposes, what you're going to see is that disc shape, whether you go left, right, up, or forward, as far as you can. You're just going to see a disc shape being lit up by a local sun.
Yeah, and why would Auguste Piccard say he went up that far and seen it? What he said he saw was flat. So, I mean...
Well, he went up, what was it, 95,000 feet?
Well, something like that. I mean, he didn't... I don't think it was as high.
He was up, I think, wasn't he? He was up as high as almost some of the cameras get up there.
Yeah, I don't think it was quite... I think it was about, if I remember, it was 50,000 feet, to be honest.
55, yeah, I would say. Yeah,
55.
Yeah.
So it was probably about the same height as Concorde.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that went up to about 55, 60,000 feet. So, so you'd see probably a similar thing with regards to, how far the horizon is. But according to, I think, what some people are saying with angular resolution is that you...
I just don't remember him saying he's seen a curve.
So, but, like this angular resolution thing that things beyond a certain distance... You wouldn't be able to distinguish them as different things. But at the horizon, it would converge and it would just become they would merge together, and it would because apparently what that happens with say you have headlights or whatever, in the distance it will just join together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the I think that's what the what is it, angular resolution is. And that's apparently why we're losing the bottoms of buildings. The distortion, but they'll be like, oh, blah, 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 and then they'll give people lectures about how it's standard refraction, that we're seeing more of it than we should, and people have even admitted that the refraction, the way that they describe it, can only work if there's a significant change of medium, and well, there isn't, unless you're talking about kind of air to water, going into the sea, where there's a complete change of medium. Unless you're looking through that, well, I suppose when you're down at sea level, that's when you're going to have the most atmospheric effect. So when people are doing observations that are relatively high up, then they're not going to be looking through this thing that would this Snell's law rubbish.
Yeah, man. I mean, these people have done nothing but not tell us the truth about everything. That's why when you think about this, why would they tell us the truth about it? I mean, when you think about it, these people that run the world, they worship Lucifer. Okay, they're Luciferian. So obviously they believe in the spiritual realm. They believe in Lucifer as their god. So if they believe in Lucifer and sold out to him, then why wouldn't God be real if they all worship Lucifer? Lucifer. You know what I mean? That's another proof fact for me. We're the fucking good guys. They're the bad guys. End of story. I believe anything they fucking say. I don't really believe anything they say. They worship Lucifer. I mean, if you study the occult, that's who they worship or worship Lucifer. So I'm not cool with that. I don't know if you guys are. But why would they wanna hide a creator? Because Lucifer fucking says he needs souls.
Well, that's what a lot of people in the flat earth are saying, is they're trying to hide the creator, but, well, the creator should, if he was all powerful, he would make himself, be known anyway, so,
Well, maybe he does in different ways, but you just don't see it.
Well, I don't, I'm not saying,
Well, if you study any type of the occult and Luciferians, one of their main goals is to prove to people that the devil doesn't exist. You can just go research that, and it'll pop up on thousands of websites, thousands and thousands upon thousands. That's one of their main goals. They don't want people to know that Lucifer or a devil or any of that exists at all. They want people to think it's a fairy tale.
Yeah, because if he exists, then the opposite has to exist, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there's that kind of dichotomy where good and evil has to exist. The duality of nature and everything. You can't have. But then some say that that there is no such thing as duality. Suppose
black and white, good and bad.
I suppose you could say that good. I mean, not that evil is a lack of good. I don't know. But actually, evil is more than that. Actually,
in my opinion,
is
though,
actually the opposite of good.
We're as being flat earthers have that mindset, of a conspiracy theorist type of mind. We don't trust easily. So that's why they're the bad guys. We're the good guys. That's my opinion.
Well,
anyone trying to hide truth from us, I think they're the enemy.
Well, when people talk about God, I don't see it as being the literal kind of, I just see it as that we're all part of God. God is consciousness. It's, God is everything. And we're all, you're a part of everything. So we have to be a part of God. And to me, what the kind of, Catholic Church and everything, it's about
fuck the Catholic Church, man. Fuck them, and what I mean.
It's more about hiding yourself.
Them motherfuckers, they're a part of this shit. They're the enemy too.
To me, it's more about hiding yourself.
The only thing I'm talking about basically is the people who run this world basically hate the Bible and Jesus. They hate Jesus, all right? They hate him. So, I study these people.
How do you know Jesus existed?
I don't know he existed, but if they put so much blood, sweat, and tears into Lucifer, that tells me something. It tells me to do the opposite. Like how someone who Scouse was saying in the chat, if they're telling him one thing, he's believing the other thing, because you're not gonna. So whatever, basically, my opinion is whatever they're for, I'm gonna be against. I'm gonna be on the other side.
So because they'll tell you that looking at the sun is bad for your eyes. So people are actually now, kind of looking at the sun, and they're saying it's actually good for you. So I don't know. But then some are saying it's satanic to look at the sun.
Well, if it makes you squint.
I mean that's different.
Well, they're saying as long as you do it. So as long as you do it at the right time of the day. When
I first came in here, I heard you saying there was a chatter in here who said his name was Vaccine something. That's different to me than them saying vaccines are good for you. You should take them. You know what I mean? Because we don't have a lab in our house, in our basement, to break down everything that's in it and see what it does to you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's pretty much, it's kind of common sense to know that staring
just
at the
not
sun will
natural,
fucking
is it?
blind your ass, you know?
It's not natural. This vaccine stuff. Like, why do we even need it? It just seems so like
You gotta
it's-
think, and you have to really think about, like, okay, these people are so fucking upset. Like, your kid's not vaccinated, and he's gonna be around my vaccinated kid. Like, okay, if your kid's vaccinated, then isn't he quote unquote
All right,
protected?
so
Then,
let me
like,
get
so just shut the fuck up. Like, fuck this authoritarian type shit. You ain't gonna force me and my kids or no one to do nothing that they don't want to do. End of story. Like, I'm not with it. I ain't that guy, that yes man. I ain't that fucking dude you're gonna roll over. Sorry. You know what I mean? I just don't take bullshit, man. I don't. You ain't gonna stick no shit in no, you ain't forcing shit. You ain't forcing no microchip. You ain't forcing shit. And I mean, I seen polls on Twitter. Will you accept the microchip? 96% no. Like thousands and thousands and thousands upon votes. Like they ain't gonna be doing this shit they think they want to do. They think
I think
people
they're
gonna
probably
fucking just
a
let
bit
them.
too confident, you know. But then again, they're probably doing things in kind of more covert ways, you know. Obviously, the programming.
Like I'm the type of mentality where I would go out blazing in a blaze of glory before I got put in some camp somewhere or some shit like that, if that ever happened. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. I ain't these people think they own us and shit. Like, you just another motherfucking human. You ain't shit. Who the fuck? I don't care if they said you's a judge. I don't care if they said you're just a fucking human being, cocksucker. Know what I mean?
You don't have to have a chip put in you. They know that. They know that 99.9% of people won't have a chip inside them. They won't do it voluntarily unless something major happens. But like as Jamie said, they'll do it covertly by other means.
Obviously, you know, when people talk about this MK Ultra stuff, you know, this transhumanism and all that it's already happening. People think it's going to happen, but it's the fact that they've got this far with their operations shows that, you know, this whole, you know, New World Order thing, it's actually, you know, it's not new. It's just you know, it's just been kind of progressing over the years.
Yeah.
Because at one time it was more probably simple how they operated, but they had to make things more complicated in order to keep people asleep, because people would cotton on to it eventually.
Yeah, the only way I see them doing that, honestly, is what P just said in the chat. They got that smart dust that they just go nanobots and shit in your body, nanotech take over your brain or something. Like, that's the only way I see most people getting some shit put in them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, other than starving them to death, I guess, and saying, look, you can't fucking, that, then most people will, because when they're starving, they'll do anything. So,
well, I've got a question on you, because what are your thoughts on you know, just technology in general? Because I've heard a lot of, you know, the flat earthers saying that, you know, it's bad for you and that we shouldn't be using it. So why the hell are we even using it? I know we're trying to wake people up, but we're using the friggin' tools here, aren't we?
yeah, we're using them right now, yeah. But honestly, I think it's gone way too far. I think it's only going to get worse to the point.
So what you're talking about, because they said they're bringing out the 5G or something.
Yeah, man.
But it's
like
the technologies, you know, it's supposed to be kind of, you know, progression.
These people can't even. You can't even live near a cell phone tower, man. You're gonna be done. You're gonna be cooked. You know what I mean? And like,
it's supposed to be like, you know, progression and all that, the technologies and stuff. But we as humanity aren't progressing. We're actually going backwards, you know, because of people's reliance on it. If people didn't rely on it and just took what they needed and just kind of,
it's done whatever they wanted it to do, man. It's done what they wanted it to do. Like, when TV came out, it took people off the streets, and then it separated people, it divided them. And then, you know what I mean? And then whenever all this, it's doing their goal. It's making us the way we are. It's making people lazy. It's making people complacent. It's making people literal zombies, and then that's what they want, man.
Yeah,
So
if people, I say, if, people weren't controlled by these slave masters or whatever, then I mean, people would probably, a lot of people would, actually, well, I mean, you say, they would
let's just take TV away, man. Take TV and internet away, and in 20 years, it'd be a completely different world.
So what do you reckon people would do without those things then? I mean, because
people would be outside. There'd be communities. There'd be vegetable gardens on every corner. There'd be it'd be people the division would diminish tremendously, immensely. You know what I mean? That's what they can't have, though. They can't have that division gone.
Some people think that's going back to kind of primitive times and kind of that's
I don't care what some people think. Those people can suck my left nut. I know. I'm saying some people, though, but these people are fucking robot zombies that don't know that's good for them. So that's some people to me that can suck a dick. I'm sorry, Sam. No disrespect to you.
It seems to be kind of obviously taking the expression out of people, because people would just be kind of expressing themselves. You'd be seeing expression everywhere. Except people are conformists because of obviously what the media tells them, and
I mean,
I can remember. I remember before the internet, man. I remember all that. I remember how different it was. I remember.
So
I'm not that old. I'm not that old, but
so let me get this straight. So we wouldn't be going back to primitive times. We would actually be starting from where we left off before these people took over big time.
Yeah, it would bring people closer together, in my opinion.
Because we can still, if we can still progress, but in the right way,
Well, that's it. I mean, you say that mass. I mean, you've used all these communication channels to come up with the fact that this is what you think and feel about it. It's because it's the way it's been used and utilized. Like if we use it in a different way for the best of the good, but it has. What tends to happen.
But they're saying that people are saying about how the Wi-Fi is not good for us. So I mean, is it possible that people could create stuff that's actually not harmful? Like, because if somebody created their own technology, for instance, that's actually kind of not got harmful radiation in it or whatever, then people wouldn't be. I say technology in itself is kind of unless it's being used for their good reasons, then it's gonna make people dumb.
That's the thing, though. When someone makes something that's not harmful or good or better for the people,
they co-opt it. That's what happens with everything.
That's why my mindset is so strong on the way my beliefs are, is because these people don't have our best interests in mind, and they never did, and they never will. And anyone that thinks that they do or ever will are completely lying to themselves to make themselves feel more comfortable.
You're like when you're
out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? Keep it out of sight and out of mind. Don't think about it.
This like social media and stuff, and people saying this is all bad because people are being killed as a result of it. This abductions and things like that, and it's really serious stuff, isn't it? And
yeah.
But when you think about it, would these people still find a way? Whether it's just that it makes it more convenient. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think I mean, there's pros and cons, I guess. Like the YouTube and everything, they woke a lot of people up. So I mean, without that,
when they know that it's owned by Google, which is controlled by the government. So
yeah, it got out of hand though, and now they got out of hand, and then they're cracking down on it. And but I mean,
channels are being attacked. The truth channels are being attacked.
I mean, even without it though, even without the internet and stuff, word would spread. There would still be statistics and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we still have a way. But people are saying that without this internet, we'd be able to be telepathic and.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that.
If they're lying about the shape of the earth and everything, to me it unlocks a lot more possibilities. then to me it
I'm
makes it
not.
more
Yeah, but I mean,
unlikely
I'm not
because
saying that. I mean, I'm not saying that that's far fetched. I mean, I
I'm just
don't know.
saying that it's like we've come this far. I mean, if they're able to lie about the shape of the Earth, then what else are they going to lie about? Because to me, it's like if there isn't really much to hide us from, then there isn't really much point hiding the shape of the Earth. There has to be more to this reality, a lot more to this reality.
That's why. That's why I believe that the reason they're hiding the shape and everything is because they're hiding God. That's my number
Well, to me,
one
it's more that
belief.
they're hiding us. That's how I see it. And I'm no offense to the religious people out there, but we can only experience us and ourselves more than anything.
No, I know what you're saying. I mean, believing in God is just all faith. I mean, believing in God, I know what you mean. There's no concrete evidence at all that I don't know if God is real or not.
I suppose like people say that they have their
That's a
own
faith.
spiritual connection.
Yeah.
That's a faith. I mean, that's a faith. Just like that's like me saying I know for a fact that the earth is flat. I don't, but that's a faith that I believe in. And the people that say that they know the earth is a globe, they won't ever admit that they just believe in that and that's their faith. They think there's actual proof and real evidence and it's truth. It's not.
No, that's right. So if we go back to saying that, why did they actually pervade it as a ball instead of showing us the truth? And we've seen from the high video footage that what the truth is. You can't argue with that, right? So why would they pervade a ball instead? It's because it ties in gravity with the Big Bang Theory, and it ties in the fact that actually we aren't here for a purpose. We're just an insignificant coalesced ball in a solar system, and we're just living our lives as we do. And if people find out that actually the shape of the Earth is this type of shape, and it's not the heliocentric ball they've been making us believe, then the first question people are going to say was, well, how did it form then? It's not from the Big Bang then, and it calls gravity into question, and then it's almost as if then that somebody's actually made it the way it is. How would they go about?
Couldn't our collective consciousness have brought it here?
Well, I'm not sure about that. It has to be something physical, doesn't it? I mean, you can touch things, and
yeah, but like obviously we all have our own obviously subjective experience, and and I've come obviously to a realization that how do we know? I mean, you could say, well, if somebody comes and stabs you in the back, and you didn't and even if you kind of said that nobody's going to come stab me in the back, it's still going to happen. I mean, there's probably some kind of objectivity, but I see it as that we're all, in a way, kind of plugged into this reality. Possibly that's just like another idea, that not literally like the Matrix, but like kind of spiritually, I suppose. That's kind of
that's the difference between us, and that's the difference between these globe fucking fanboys.
And we're all kind of this reality.
We can admit, and we can talk about other possibilities possibly being, but they're like, no, it's this way. That's the only way. Fuck you or die.
So, well, it might be that we were all, maybe we were all originally, when we were together, we were as God, and then we split, and then this reality was created, this world we live in, and we all experience the world. Well, I mean, we could experience it in a different way. Up could be down to some people, but we can affect someone else's subjective reality.
Yeah,
and other people can affect ours.
Dude, you can have a kid 9 months, Jamie, and you could never let that kid out of your house, and you could tell him that if you open that door, you're gonna get sucked into a lake of fire. You know what I mean? You can definitely change someone's reality.
But then you could say, well, that's obviously not objectively true, because everyone else is goes outside their house and sees there isn't that outside. So
yeah, with enough brainwashing though, and doing saying it over and over, you could do that. That's why these people in the Illuminati and shit, their families they've brainwashed their kids since birth to believe in what they believe, and these families done this torture brainwashing to them to keep them under their power and not stray from have their beliefs just like muscle memory and
Well,
code
I
into their
remember.
brain.
Yeah, I remember someone saying like if you leave your house and you leave your door unlocked, as people at one time could do that, there weren't any risk of being burgled.
Yeah.
Then like, because what happened if you were, say, well, nowadays, if you left your house unlocked but you didn't believe that you were gonna be burgled, then probably you wouldn't be. But if you did believe it, then maybe it would happen, because maybe the burglar could subliminally, subconsciously, whatever, sense that fear, and they would prey on that.
I mean, anything's possible. They say that your
So a
mind
lot of
can.
people need like
There's a lot of people that say that your mind and thoughts can heal your body. There's a lot of people that say, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people say your mind can heal your body. I mean, thinking about something like that could happen to you. Like, a lot of people say a lot of stuff, but I mean, do I know for a fact if it's true? No, I don't. So.
But I mean, these seem like, weird esoteric ideas. But the thing is, apparently pets, they can sense when their owner's coming home. So I mean, people see them as being inferior to us, and that's all a deception as well. People think that they're the best, and it's when people got our connection off with the animal kingdom, because we are part of it. It's just that we don't, obviously we think differently to them, and we have different senses and things, because obviously some have better sense of hearing, some have better sight, some have worse sight, But
there's some cats can detect cancer in people, and dogs.
Oh, I see. Dogs can some dogs can sniff out for police and things.
Yeah, they can tell.
So there's lots of abilities that
they can tell diabetics. They can tell diabetics when their sugar is low, man. Like, that's crazy. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, dolphins have sonar. We don't. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we could have superpowers and not know it. I don't. They could have lied to us. They could have fucking. Who knows? Like, it's not like there were any peer reviews or college studies on urine therapy. You know what I mean? They wouldn't let that happen. But how do we know?
So do you believe in
how do we know? No, I'm not saying I believe in it. I'm just saying, how do we know though that after 20 cycles, like, that shit you drink will cure your body of anything? How do we know that?
A lot of people
we don't. You know what I mean? We don't know that.
It being this kind of medicine, like, it's actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that we've been lied to about everything, man. We don't know, we don't know what to believe.
Think it's a toxic waste product when the waste comes out the other end, doesn't it?
I mean, I study research a lot of this stuff, man. I mean, like, I research urine therapy. I research everything. I research the occult, the bankers, the system, everything. I'm into all of that. Like, but I don't know if it's real or true. I haven't done it.
So when you drink the water, your body will, keep some of it, and then you'll piss out the rest. That's just because it's excess, not that it's waste. Excess and waste are two different things.
Yeah.
And if you've been eating bad, you'll obviously get that, like salt and stuff in it. So it could work if say your diet is well.
That's another thing where they keep people so poor that, like, in America, 70% of people live paycheck to paycheck. Do you think those people are eating healthy every day? Fuck no. If they're living paycheck to paycheck, their next paycheck depends on whether they're homeless or not. 70% of America. So, I mean, that's a lot of people. So, I mean, shit. If you're eating unhealthy, would you even? I mean, even if 10 doctors told you, after 10 cycles, your piss will cure your cancer. But if you're eating all this shit and
obviously they would have to do a control study, like a control research study to account for any variables. Like,
I don't think that would happen though. Never. It would never happen.
But like bad diet or anything else like that might affect.
And I mean, like,
the quality of it.
I do want to start drinking. I heard you guys talking about reverse osmosis water, but I do want to start drinking distilled water, though. I do want to start doing that.
Well, yeah, it was just a joke, I think.
I definitely do want to start doing.
But yeah, I mean, I do.
Distilled.
I've heard about it, but I've heard this the alternate theory that it might actually be bad for you because when you come in contact with dirty water, like the kind of non-filtered water, it's going to make you ill because the clean water, it detoxifies you. It'll filter out all the shit in your body, and
yeah, but if you're eating like fruits and vegetables and stuff where you're getting all the vitamins and minerals from that as well.
But then you probably still get the GMOs from the most of them are non-GMO, but
well, that's what I mean. Like,
I'm just saying,
like, if we're just
For fuck's sake. I'm off, mate. See ya.
later, man. Sorry.
Yeah, even if there's still like chemtrails and things that might be.
I know, man. Yeah, it's like even if you want to eat organic and drink the most pure water, like you're still getting hit with waves and radio waves and chemicals in the air and like, you know what I mean? So obviously this shit's done for a reason that I've concluded. They're slow killing people to make money, and it's a great enterprise.
All right. But yeah, I mean, Ranty Rant saying people need exposing to bacteria. That's how our immune system works.
Yeah, I mean, certain bacterias are good, yeah, for us.
Yeah, so what kind of diet do you eat then?
I try to stay low on the carbs and try to do as best as I can, man, with that lower carbs. And
so are carbs bad for you then?
I mean, they're not bad for you if you're eating the right kind. There's good carbs and bad carbs, and the good carbs come from good carbs are natural sugars like the juice from an orange, like versus carbs from white rice or bread. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the organic stuff.
Yeah, and then like it's pretty much, I don't know. I thought everyone already knew this, but when you eat too many carbs and you're not burning that off by using energy, that's accumulating the fat.
That's it, because people eat this, and I can kind of understand it. They eat this the ketogenic diet, and it sounds like it's that bad it's good sort of thing, but so it's high fat, low carb basically. So obviously if people don't eat meat and stuff, then they're gonna not be able to obviously sustain that kind of diet unless they're eating loads of but I mean, apparently you can get lots of non-saturated fats from fruit and veg, but I said that's another topic. But if you eat nothing but fat, that's all your body can burn off, and people use it for muscle building and stuff. It turns to protein. They can build bigger muscles, but that's another kind of brainwashing thing. Is that people think that they should be muscly. Men think that they need to be muscly, and look at me, I'm strong and all that. Yeah, I'm a tough guy. Like it's all bullshit.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be healthy and fit and adding a little bit of muscle, but when you're looking like Arnold and shit, like what's the point?
Look at him now, though. I mean, let's have a look at. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually have a look.
Like strong as hell. Like damn, you strong as hell for no reason. Cause damn, why you want? Like I heard Kevin Hart doing some stand up. He's like, damn man, why you want them pointy ass muscles sticking out from behind your ears like that? Like, what's the point?
Let's have a look then and now. Let's have a look at some comparison. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing right there.
It's like built as hell for no reason. Like just built like a Mack truck for no reason. Like, all right, like I can see if you're in prison or something. You know what I mean? Like where you gotta fend for your life or something. Other than that, like why you want to be a tank? You know what I mean?
I mean, on some pictures he looked pretty muscly, but some it doesn't. I mean, it turns to flab eventually because that obviously that muscle, it turns back into fat again, doesn't it? Turns back into cholesterol.
Yeah, once you stop
It
using
softens,
it,
doesn't
yeah.
it? Because when you don't use it, it'll just soften. Because like when you don't, because obviously the thing that people need to learn is obviously you have to keep training, you have to keep making it better. But when you stop doing it for a length of time, it'll just go weaker again.
Yep.
So I'll say, like for instance, because people are going about this barefoot thing, and that you should go out barefoot because it completes Earth's circuit with the sun, and that's another topic. I'm not going to go into that right now, but
sun gazing.
but yeah,
people that sun gaze do that.
yeah, like I said, I'm just saying about how that walk around barefoot. Eventually, your soles of your feet will actually adapt to it. They'll actually start getting stronger, and they won't hurt anymore. Like when people play guitar for long enough, their fingers won't hurt anymore because they've adapted to it. But if you stop doing it for a length of time, they'll just go back to what they were before.
Yep.
So if you're gonna do these like extreme workouts, you have to keep them up. And the thing with strength is that it's useless for stamina. And I was talking about this with Robert Humphrey, I think.
Yeah, that's why bench pressing like 300 pounds. Doing powerlifting is completely different than cardio training. You know what I mean? That's where you get stamina from doing cardio, not lifting weight.
Yeah, Scouse is saying steroids is full of water. That's why they go fat if they stop training. But yeah, a lot of it's artificial, isn't it? These they pump up. It's apparently taller people have a harder time building muscle than shorter guys. Don't know how true that is, but it might be to do with the the proportions and everything.
Yeah.
But apparently a short person gets fat easier. So no offense, but yeah, apparently that if you're taller, you can probably eat what you want. Not eat what you want, but like you don't have to worry as much about what you're eating. And whereas a shorter person might be more likely to put on weight because they're probably
there's nowhere to put it.
Exactly, because they're probably like eating the same portions and their stomach's probably the same size, but because their body's a lot smaller, their torso and everything is shorter, then it stores as fat. And they tell everyone that they should eat breakfast first thing in the morning. You should eat breakfast. And we were talking about this the other day. Should you really? That's the question, because they tell that to everybody. And we know that when you come to flat Earth, we know that they flip everything, or at least they lie about it and they don't give you the truth. But I suppose they kind of give you clues, I suppose. But so if they say that you should eat breakfast every morning, it's the most important meal of the day, they say. But we're not living in a kind of natural cycle for a start, because we have one sleep every day. We have 8 hours sleep a day, most people, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Some people have about 5 or 6, but some people can live off less sleep. But some are saying that we should have 2 sleeps a day, or maybe 3, just depends. But some are saying that we should have more than 1 sleep a day, but sleep for less intervals.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Who knows? Shit. 100, 200, 300 years ago, were people working 2-3 jobs a day like they are now? You know what I mean? No.
Yeah, obviously because people in the system, they have to go to work for so long, then they have to go home and eat, and then they'll probably put on the TV, have a shower or whatever, and then they'll go to bed, get up in the morning, and
Dude, I'm 34 and I've never eaten breakfast in my life. I
hardly ever eat breakfast, and
I've never done it, barely, hardly ever. I've etten lunch and dinner pretty much.
Because eating breakfast is probably not. Maybe you should get up off your ass in the morning, do a bit of exercise to try and burn off that excess fat. Because that's the time of the day when you have the least amount of carbs in your body. So that's when you'll be able to burn fat off. So that will be the most likely time when you can actually build muscle, actually. So that's what people should do if they're trying to build muscle. Get up in the morning and do a bit of working out, and then eat afterwards. Eat after that. If you're tired after that, you go and get a whatever people people eat. But is what people are eating for breakfast even healthy, or the cereal and stuff? Is that healthy? I mean, is there any actual proof
Yeah,
of that?
I don't know. I was listening to, I forget who was telling, I don't know if it was on Jaren or Flat Earth Asshole, I don't know. But they were talking about, do you remember like the 90s commercials? There was like cereal crazy, like, kids eat your cereal.
Yeah, so it was like a propaganda back in the 90s then.
Yeah, like, I'm like, yeah, so like, that was just to get kids fat, and I don't know, man. All
Well,
I
the thing
know
is,
is I
breakfast and
believe
stuff.
what Scout said in the chat. He said that he was like, basically, all I know is we should be living way longer than we
You
live,
know,
and
the thing
I
with
believe it.
breakfast, right? Yeah, with breakfast, people just get up in the morning. As soon as you get up, go down, eat breakfast, right? Their bodies aren't ready for doing that, yeah, for digesting food in the morning, because we know that the body digests food best when we're asleep, yeah? So
Yeah.
it's the worst time when we should be eating, really. We should be going out, getting your body ready, kind of building up a bit of exercise in the morning, and then and I'm not saying I do that, but I mean, just saying, so if people are doing exercise, then they should be doing it first thing, because someone was saying about how, it's best time to burn fat, because that's when you have genuinely like the least amount of carbs in your body, because they've mostly burnt off. So the only thing that's left to burn is fat.
Yeah, man. And plus, dude, I'm Italian, and I'd be liking my carbs,
And the
man.
good thing as well,
So
once
it's
you burn
hard.
the fat, when you burn the fat, then when you eat, it's going to make it easier for your food to digest and absorb. So but as your fat's building up in your body because you've not been able to burn it off, then the food is it's going to lose most of the energy trying to digest it and absorb it and it'll probably not all be able to absorb. So you're going to waste some of it as well through, malabsorption. And that's what people will get is they're eating all this stuff. Their bodies, got, their cholesterol levels, and the body's then not able to absorb
I'm listening.
Yeah. What are you
I'm
laughing at?
listening, yo. Like, the reason I'm laughing is because like I'm listening to this shit and I'm kind of stoned. So I was like thinking while you were talking, like, damn, it's 2017, man. Like, you'd have think they'd had this shit figured out a long ass time ago
Yeah,
and
it's like
told
they've
us,
been at it so long.
you
It's
know
like
what
you'd
I
have
mean?
thought they
Like,
would have
I'm about to do the Homer fucking Simpson fucking roll around on the carpet real quick, but I'm like in a circle by myself on the floor because like I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, why is it 2017 and like we don't know like the perfect way to live? Like,
Yeah,
what the
exactly.
fuck?
It's
Like, I'm
very
about to
telling,
go
isn't
jump
it?
out my fucking window right now. Like, I'm pissed. I'm angry.
Yeah, it's very telling, isn't it, that that they're trying to hide stuff
Like,
from
why are
us.
we
And
trying to talk about this shit now and figure this shit out right
yeah, we
now?
should
Like,
already know
come on
it.
now. Like,
Our bodies can't
fuck
be that
that.
complicated. Our bodies are, well, they're kind of complicated, but they claim to know what's going on in distant galaxies, all this complex bullshit that's going on, right? It's freaking crazy. Yeah. But yeah, like I
Yeah.
was saying, I think it's an important topic to talk about, really, because, you are what you eat, and so you need to know how to, get the best out of food and exercise. And, so it's about kind of the balance of both. And, because if you're eating healthy and you're not doing enough exercise, then you're not going to get really the best benefits, are you? And if you're doing loads of exercise and you're not eating the best foods, then still you're not going to get the benefits.
Dude, there's a video that just came out and it went like semi-viral, and it was like, it says like, you've been jogging wrong your whole life, or like, and there's some shit, and it's like,
Just some like, have you seen this one? You've been
and I think Eric
you've been
Dubé
pooping wrong
said
your
it
whole
too.
life. That's another one.
Yeah, like fucking, yeah, like, okay, like they tell you shouldn't be jogging because it jars your organs against each other or some shit. Like, man, what
I've
the
heard
fuck
this
are you
thing
talking about, man?
that these athletes they have a higher risk of arthritis because of their bones rubbing together or something, or they're clicking or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought that shit made it stronger.
I don't know, man. So since you watched the video, you've been shitting wrong your whole life. Like, do you fucking squat to take a shit now, man? Do you squat above the toilet seat now, dude? Like, do you? Oh shit, man. I don't, man. But really,
I've heard this like argument, is anti-vegan saying that that what is it that they can't eat a natural diet because they have to like import everything from all over the world, like because see that people eat exotic fruits and things and vegetables and things. So, but the thing is, we're obviously the problem with the system we're living in is people have their own little patch and they can't really grow much in it, so there's not really much they can do.
Well, why do some cats eat the same cat food every day and live the same time?
Yeah, they live off of like one food type, and they live for like some of them live 20, 25 years, some of them.
Yeah.
And that's a cat life.
I don't know, man. I have no clue, dude. I don't even know. Then you'll find some dude that's like 105, and he'll be like, the key to long life is smoking 2 packs of coals a day and drinking a case of Budweiser. That's how I did it. And then you're like, okay,
there was this guy. He was 102 years old, right? And he was because there was this program on TV or something like that. This guy that was 102, he ate fish, vegetables, and I think he ate fish every 6 months. I don't know why. I mean, why would you eat it every 6 months? I don't see the point in just eating it once. I mean, if it's going to be good for you, then you'd want to eat it more than every 6 months, wouldn't you? So it was probably just a treat to him or something. I don't know. But yeah, he ate fish, vegetables. I mean, no, he ate vegetables and fruit and fish every 6 months. And what he did is go up every morning, and he had this like treadmill, and he would just go for a walk on there every morning, and then he would like get himself a smoothie or something, and he'd be pretty much all right for the day. So yeah, and he was, like I said, 102. He were. I don't know if he's still living, but it's pretty amazing, isn't it? So
yeah,
I think sustainability is a lot more simple than they want us to think it is.
Yeah, definitely is. We just don't know. I just don't know the exact formula. You're gonna have to research and study it.
Yeah, there's just lots of obviously research that needs to be done. But yeah, the fact that we don't quite understand the nutrition and stuff, to me,
the basic diet.
It's bullshit about what they're teaching about astronomy and stuff, because they're claiming that's a lot more complex. So
I know, man. Like humans don't even know how to keep a basic diet in 2017, man. Like we are fucked.
If I remember, there was like this video I watched where they were going on about how they can supposedly see things that are minus 10 to the 27 meters, like whatever it is, kind of inward, if you will, like kind of 10 to the minus 27, shall I say, meters. But then they were claiming to be able to, using maths, figure out what's at 10 to the minus 36. So I'd call bullshit on that right away. And then they're saying that they're seeing things outward that are 10 to the positive whatever it is, like 67 or whatever it is.
Wouldn't if they were seeing that far in the minus, like wouldn't they be seeing pretty much like atoms and shit?
It's all bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bunch of fucking bullshit, man. This is why I'm about to just smoke a bomb. I'm about to pack the fuck up this shit.
Light refraction that kind of whatever it is that it kind of, when the light it spreads out and kind of disperses or whatever, and it kind of, when it gets to us, it still appears big, and that's how we're able to see it or whatever. I don't know if that's the official explanation, but because clearly the distance to the stars, basically even the close ones should not be visible with the naked eye, but we can see them pretty much every night. It's clear. No, but yeah, they're so bright. No, but still, there's a vanishing point due to the angular size of something being that small. We would not detect it.
I'm about to drink this DMT real quick, man. Hold on, I'm about to drink this DMT and then go talk to some Palladians and shit. I'll tell you what they're saying. Hold up. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck him. Yeah, he wants me to go sit on the face of Mars again. I'm tired of doing this shit. I'm bored with the face of Mars, bro. Why can't we go somewhere else, man? Fuck. I want to just go fly around the rings around Saturn. I'm sick of this dude, man, coming here telling me let's go to fucking Mars. Fuck. All right, carry on. My bad about that.
So let me get this straight. So the rings around Saturn, I mean, no, the gas is all kind
Dude,
of
I fucking rode on them fucking
pulled,
things, man. I
together
fucking
by
rode on
gravity,
them.
but the rings aren't affected by it.
I fucking rode on them bitches, man, with fucking Palladium. I once fucking rode around Saturn for 8 hours. So fun. But he always wants to go in the face of Mars. Sick of that place, man. I'm fucking tired of it. It's boring. Been there too many times.
This is a nice bedtime story.
Fuck. Nah, I'm really stoned, bro. My bad. I'm
It's
stoned as
not
fuck.
a case of the angular size of stars. It's a case of how many photons per second they produce and how many of those move to your eye. These numbers can be worked out.
Oh, fuck, Scouts. My bad, Jamie. He said, I want to live in Uranus. I want to move to Uranus, me kid. My bad. Go ahead, Jamie. I'm done. I'm
But yeah,
done.
what do you
I'm
think
done
about
acting
that?
a fool.
About the
I'm done
photons
acting a fool. My
per
bad.
second they produce and how many of those make it to your eye. But they're that far away, though. So I mean,
some bright lights, man.
Away, so even like the closest star, 4.2 light years away, 20 something trillion miles away, and it's supposed to be 100 and odd thousand miles in diameter or whatever it is. And we see the sun as like a little disc in the sky, and that's so many times bigger than what our nearest star is. So imagine if you shrunk the sun down by a few times, and then made it about so many 1,000 times further away. Do you think you would be able to see it?
Fuck no.
A fucking chance.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck no. So that's what I mean. Yeah, that's another argument where people say,
such a bright
that's a good argument too. Like
so many photons of light.
Because they say these stars are how many light years away, but after just like a light month, you wouldn't be able to see the sun.
They reverse engineer it, right? So what they do is they have to create the maths and all that, and then
Dude, after a light hump day, you ain't seeing that motherfucking sun.
So they can probably make it all work out.
Light 3 days, fuck a light year. I'll spike beer. I'll incite fear like fucking the leftists do. I got the bestest crew. I'm at your neck with dudes. I got the Tekken 2. I learned how to fight back on that in 9th grade. I snipe fakes. Yo, you come in here with your blind faith of the globe. Yo, mass, be killing it, son. I be killing it off the top of the dome. I like the firmament. Yo, you bitches never heard this shit. I be burning clicks. I be smoking the bombers. You motherfuckers, yeah. And you can't even read my mind like Nostradamus. Yo, mass one off, pause like a comma. And you heard that shit in 8 Mile. I don't give a fuck. I'll come back with a great smile. This shit's off the top. I'm a rapper. I'm a graffiti artist. I'll fucking bomb your motherfucking whole continent with a fucking single army. Me, yo, I'm done. My bad.
So someone in chat is going on about the Gleason's map as being a psyop. So he probably thinks that it's flat, but it's the model that's been presented is kind of a fake model to discredit the real flat Earth.
It's a psyop, bro. It's like, I don't know, man.
It's a psyop, bro. That's
Dude, it's a psyop, bro. Dude, if you move the sun 800 zillion light years away, you'd be able to see it still, man. It's a psyop, bro.
Yeah, it's Timmy Osmond here with another public service announcement.
It's a psyop, bro. Yo, where the trolls at?
Yeah, there don't seem to be many of them here tonight. Must be somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think they've been spread thin, haven't they?
Yeah, you had to make a new channel because were they forming your shit, yo? Did you blow up and they found you? The Globies were attacking you, man. I wasn't here for that shit. I was like, man, I was like, fuck. Ran out of data and shit, and I was like, damn, man, I wish I could be in Jamie's chat with these trolls attacking them, man. I'd be going off on trolls.
I know what it is. Their socks have been infected with fungus. Spread.
They've been jacking off into their socks too much.
Actually,
they got some crusty socks.
It's cheesy feet, and
I got the crusty sock. We don't.
But yeah, I mean, this Gleason's map, this this AE projection map. It isn't just a projection,
Thomas,
any map is just a projection.
What answer would make you happy? All right, listen. Here's my answer to you, Thomas. Thomas the train motherfucker. Asking that question. First of all, you're a fucking dumbass for even asking that question.
Who are you answering?
Thomas Krzepa.
Well, I think it's true. I ask people if they think that the problem I have with the accepted model is some of obviously the continents don't seem right and the distances between them and things like that.
No, I'm kidding. He's not dumb for asking that question, but we don't know for sure, man. Like we've been saying all night. We don't know, man.
Just checking to see if we actually are dogmatic and that we've fallen into some kind of another dogmatic religion of an AE with a like a an ice wall or whatever, because we can't prove there's an ice wall all the way around, of course. And people going about Captain
all of us didn't get to all of us didn't get to make our own maps and shit. I don't fucking know. I have no clue if that shit's real or fake. You know what I mean? I don't know.
People talk about Captain Cook as being proof, and he sailed all the way around 65,000 miles.
All I know is I don't doubt much. So I know who these people work for, and I'm against that person they work for. So
have you heard this thing that beyond 80 degrees south, there's like zero sunlight or something? It's just literally in darkness. Well, not in darkness all the time, but it's like the sun doesn't rise up above, like if you go beyond 80 degrees south or something. I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard people saying that these people that believe in the Pac-Man, whatever, that they don't believe in Arctic 24-hour sun, yet they believe in Antarctic 24-hour sun, yet there's more proof of Arctic 24-hour sun than Antarctic, because the only time that they show Antarctic 24-hour sun is when they cut the feed, yet there's multiple accounts.
Then it's not really 24 hours, is it? We have no fucking clue.
Seeing 24-hour sun at 66 degrees latitude.
How many people have been like, okay, let's say their globe is correct and Antarctica's on the bottom, and how many of us been to the center of that spot that they say where Antarctica is to even find that out? None of us, so we don't know. You know what I mean? So we have no fucking clue about the sunlight fucking if there's, you know what I mean? We can guess and shit.
The main problem I have with the Pac-Man.
But do I believe it's a globe? Fuck no. Yeah, why? Because there's a lot more proof and evidence that it's not.
I see that the problem, you say in the Arctic and Antarctic are both real, but again, why did they cut the feed of the Antarctic one? To me that kind of...
No, Thomas, no. Go do your research and you will find out that they don't show 24-hour video of Antarctic sun.
Or something, wasn't it?
They don't do that, bro. So go check your research out and go check your history.
I mean, yeah, you could say that's kind of, propaganda to try and support the idea of there being, like a... So why would this seems crazy to think. So the government or whatever, they're trying to put out this disinfo map because it's going to turn people off flat Earth. Then they would, pretend that they're faking 24 hours of sun down south. That seems like, I don't know.
See, the people have never really been sat down and had the model or for anything broken down to them in their face. Like, what's that Scottish dude name? The cool ass dude. He does all them street ones interviews.
Well, it's saying that they do not show the video because it is so different than the Arctic sun, but it is real. So maybe that could be it. It doesn't mean that it isn't real. They could be sort of hiding something that they don't want to show because it wouldn't fit with the model that they present. I mean, that could be. I mean, I'm open, obviously, to new information, but a lot of people think that if there were an Antarctic 24-hour sun, that would prove the globe. It would just disprove the ice wall map with, the North Pole at the center. That's just all it would prove, really.
Yeah, but these people.
The sun goes in a straight line.
Jamie, look, though. You say people dismiss it, but when people, I forget the dude's name. He's Scottish over in UK, or he might be Irish.
Yeah, because he goes on about that we shouldn't attach to a model.
He talks to people on the street, and then he breaks it down and starts asking them questions about flat Earth and stuff. And most of his videos, these people that are like, it's a ball. When he first asked them, they're like, oh, I think
they
live
actually
on a
start
ball.
to kind of,
every time he's done with them, they're like, huh, wow, this kind of, maybe there's something here. No, but my point is, that's not done to everybody like it is with, our schools and indoctrination, and this is what it is, and evolution. And
because it's actually full of double speak, because they'll be like, these are theories, but then they'll be teaching it as fact.
Yeah, exactly. If more people were broken down to that way in that video, how he does his street interviews or whatever you call them, people would not dismiss a lot of what we say as bullshit. And like, the first time you hear it, you laugh at it. Everyone does, because that's their programming. Like, I did too. Everyone did. I fucking said, what? When Flat Earth started popping up like crazy, I was like, what the fuck? I laughed at this shit. It took me like three months to even click on one, just because they just kept getting crazier and crazier numbers of videos coming out. So I said, let me give this shit a chance. That's the type I would do, like type of shit I do though. But most people just don't do that. They don't even give it a chance.
Right, I said that it's going to start getting easier to wake people up because there's that many people looking into it. People have to start realizing that they got to take it serious now.
Yeah.
Because when people go on about the 100th monkey effect, or critical mass as some call it, that's exactly what it is. It's that point where it's just tips and everyone suddenly starts to wake up, because it gets to that number where people are thinking there's like that many people to where everybody knows somebody that believes it's flat, and then people will be talking to their mates and be like, oh yeah, I know someone that believes it's flat as well. So they all have to start looking into it. Yeah. That's when everyone will start waking up. It has to happen sooner or later. It's just when is the question.
Peace, Scouts. Yeah, true. But that's different than.
But we know that obviously that stage.
It's not really. It's not different than, I guess, what he does is, he sees a random person walking down the street and he asks them, "Can I ask you some questions about science or blah blah blah?" Like, he initiates the contact.
Yeah, kind of like gently kind of breaks into it and goes on about natural science, and they're agreeing with it. And yeah. And then he goes, well, and when I apply natural science, then
if I guess if a lot more people did that, not even having to film it, but if a lot more people did that even like, can I talk to you about something real quick, and just everyone did that, it would grow a lot quicker and be done a lot faster.
Yeah, if people could just like have these, if more people could have these live presentations and stuff, and
like everything doesn't have to be on video, man. Like everything, like just because you talk to a bloke you would say out in the street, like while you're out getting a coffee or something, doesn't mean you have to record it or someone does. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so people I tell people all the time, like, I have a video up, like just one short video that fucked up and cut out, but I just have one to put up as like the type of shit I do. I mean, I don't have to have tons of them. You know, just like when you run into someone, you just ask them, have you ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of flat earth? Or would you like to talk real quick about some science or something? You know what I mean? Like the dude I'm talking to in that video is old and he's like, I ain't never heard it in my life. I said, have you ever heard of flat earth? And he said, never ever in my life. There's actually people that think the earth is flat right now. And he said he was shocked. He couldn't believe it. And after I was done talking to him, he said he was going to go home and look it up. And I mean, if more people to do that, shit, more people are going to wake up faster.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, obviously, you know, quality over quantity, because you could like talk to you know, one person. If you did it the right way, you could have that one person looking into it. Whereas if you did it the wrong way, you could talk to 100 people and none of them would look into it. Yeah, so you have to do it the right way. Well, everyone forgets the science of perspective, the science of the whole way, the whole thing that tells you why the sun disappears. Will apply that to the 24-hour sun. Well, you obviously perspective. They're going about how the sun doesn't shrink, but obviously that depends on atmospheric conditions. Obviously, if the atmosphere is too dense, it will lens the sun quite a lot, and it will not shrink to a dot as it should do. That's why it will retain somewhat of its angular size, but it will kind of look distorted sometimes. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I would agree that, you know, the map that's been kind of presented to us could well be disinformation, could be a lie. Because to me, it's like, especially when people are using say GPS coordinates, you know, for navigation and things, the map that it's based on, you know, it can't be that far out. The distances between points can't be that far off. So, you know, when you're using Google Maps, for instance, it's using the rectangle map, so it does make you think, doesn't it? This AE thing seems kind of out. I mean, look at the size of Australia on it. It looks huge. The distance between Australia and South America is huge as well. So yeah, it could well be disinformation. Just don't, you know, obviously don't take everything, you know, as being 100% without actually kind of doing proper investigative work. So I don't know how long I'm going to be on here for, but so Thomas, you don't think the sun moon can be objects? Well, I've been thinking that they're not actual physical things, and yeah, I don't believe the moon's actually something that you can land on. Well, I haven't been there, so I know that. To me, the angular size of the sun and moon are being the same is kind of proof against, you know, kind of the Big Bang, and it kind of is a problem for heliocentricity, I would say. So it would prove some kind of intelligent design, I suppose, as opposed to it just being a random accident. That cannot be a coincidence that they're both the same size. The odds are just too much to even kind of. I mean, when I said that, the ones when it was the eclipse the other year in 2015, I was thinking, you know, that's quite amazing odds, that, isn't it? You know, that they both happen to be the same size. And when now we realise that, yeah, they're probably both the same distance and the same size, makes so much more sense. So when you see an eclipse, that tells you that, you know, it's no accident. It really isn't. So people reckon it proves a globe. It doesn't. You know, it doesn't prove it's flat, but it definitely proves there's some, you know, intelligence. It's not some random accident. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to my other channel if you haven't already. I used to go live on there, but I got a strike on there, so I can't go on there at the moment. So just in case you aren't already subscribed to it. So yeah. So yeah, the picture that I used for my avatar kind of shows you that it's flat, really, because no matter how high you go, the horizon doesn't drop as you would expect it to on a ball Earth. You know, and even at 100,000 feet or plus, where there should be about like a few degrees of curve, the horizon should have dropped way down. Well, I thought, do you really think a human eye can see at the horizon? Do you really think it matters how big or bright that object is at the horizon for you to see it? Well, people are going about angular resolution, and at a point you would just kind of, where two objects would become indistinguishable from each other and they would diffract. I recommend watching some of Good Tim's Roll videos. It's spelled GUDTIMS 4, as in the number 4, ALL. So type that into YouTube search, and just watch through some of his videos, and he goes through diffraction, and he reckons that's why we're losing some of the bottoms of the buildings on certain atmospheric days that where it says that has an effect. I see over long distances. It does it on like small scale, and why wouldn't it work on a big scale? Especially when you kind of factor in all the changes in atmosphere. He did a scaled down version of Chicago skyline, and they showed how at the distance that he already was able to kind of lose a couple of 100 feet of the building, and that wasn't even factoring in the atmosphere, because obviously the atmosphere would see all the distortion and everything. But you don't see it quite to the bottom, but you do see a lot more than you should. There's obviously observations a lot further than that. Some are took pretty high up, but there are ones from 273 miles away, and the top of the mountain should be half a mile below the horizon. So the horizon should be half a mile above the top of the mountain. That's how much curvature there should be, and there isn't any. You can see quite a bit of the mountain. I'd have to kind of look at a harvest moon. So apparently that's coming up in September. So probably it's like twice the size that it usually is. I mean, sometimes I see the moon gets pretty big at the horizon, and it's quite interesting. I mean, Anthony Riley had these weird theories that saying that some of the things that we see that are proof creation, because there doesn't seem to be any kind of explanation on either model. Maybe we're supposed to be in a perpetual state of wonder, and that's what's meant to happen. We're never meant to find out anything, but who knows? Is there an ultimate truth, or are we just going to keep searching and we're never actually going to get to it? Who knows? Cool. That'd be cool to kind of do an observation of like a harvest moon. So I'm not going to be inviting anyone else on, I don't think, because I'm going to be shutting down soon. But I'll be back on again soon. I think probably do another one at the weekend, maybe Saturday. Unless I do another one before then, but it just depends how I feel, really. So yeah, just another time I'll be mentioning the meetup. So yeah, anyone that wants to come, then let me know, which will be in Preston. It's been good again, guys. I'll probably chat again soon, so take it easy, guys. Until next time, peace, everybody.